So, welcome to SLC's Lockdown Countdown. Every day during lockdown, we're bringing you conversations with industry partners to share ideas and inspiration. These are designed to, these are designed to be uplifting and motivational as we make our way through lockdown 2.0. Today I'm joined by Mr. Stephen Balderston. So Steve is no stranger to a virtual Q&A as the trade training specialist to the South African tourism. Welcome, Steve. How are you feeling about lockdown so far?
Oh, thanks for having me, Kate. How do I feel about lockdown so far? Where do you want me to begin? It's all right. I think from a work point of view, I'm very, very lucky to be promoting a country that keeps people nice and inspired throughout times like this. Second lockdown now, so second chance to inspire people, and of course, most importantly, the trade to inspire their fellow people.
Indeed, and actually that is our first question I'm going to ask you. So specifically about the South African tourism, I have seen your team drinking and dancing and pivoting really quickly over the last 6 months. So give me your favourite example of how the South African tourism have adapted to 2020.
Well, I think you sort of just talked about it really briefly there, that little drinking thing that you mentioned there. That all came about because obviously we want to try and make sure that South Africa's kept top of mind with everyone, as every DMC and DMO and tour operator is going to try to be doing at the moment as well. But actually it was my lovely colleague Rachel Lewis who came up with the idea, and we noticed that the wine industry was taking a bit of a battering down in South Africa. They had one of their strictest lockdowns in the Western world. There was no alcohol sales down there for quite a number of months. So bearing that in mind, a lot of the wineries had been in existence, some well over 400 years in South Africa, were starting to suffer a little bit. So we decided to make it a little bit fun and promote drinking South African wine here in the UK, and of course trying to make that happen in all other international markets as well. So it was a little bit of fun. We put a little compilation of us together, having a few drinks, making sure it was a South African grape, obviously, that was the most important thing, doing a nice big cheers at the end. And you're right, it got a lot of traction. And from a social media point of view, it was fantastic. South African tourism has now come from the point, obviously, being a taxpayer funded organisation. We have to be very careful about how we spend our money and what we spend it on. And at the moment, we don't really have money to spend, just like a lot of other organisations as well. So it was all about being nice and agile, thinking outside of the box. And just like so many other organisations, I feel like we did that quite well.
Yeah, absolutely. Save the pinotage. Some of those Stellenbosch are my favourites. If there's any spare, send it on over here. I'm sure you get a lot of that. Great. So next, what I want to hear about is your favourite, what we're calling COVID innovation. And what I mean by that is, a TV ad or a marketing campaign, new system, new technology, anything that's caught your eye that you think has been particularly innovative and has come out of this pandemic.
Well, if we're talking about innovation, I think that's a word that gets thrown around a lot, but rightly so, obviously, given the pandemic. I think innovation as well as agility, being agile, I mentioned that before, I know, but I'm going to mention it again. Another very strong word that keeps getting thrown around. Don't worry about the new normal. Let's not worry about that at all. Let's just get people excited for whatever the new normal becomes. The other big thing about not having much money is a lot of things that would have been done externally outside of an organisation are now done internally. So we've had to learn and adapt within the organisation to perform different duties that were not part of our role initially or originally. So social media is such a massive thing now that we do. And I'm very lucky to look after the trade side of social media here. Getting people engaged with South Africa is one thing, but if we're talking about something that's been innovative, I've got to really point it towards not my SA, but another SA, the South Australian Tourism Board. Dan Wright from the SATC has teamed up with us, and something that's innovative, completely unique, and something that would never have been able to have been done before due to what things used to be like, obviously, is the fact that we've got a little webinar, a little event coming up called SA vs SA. It's going to be a duel of destinations. So that's a little bit of innovation. Totally aware that I'm tooting my own horn there, but hey, you've got to do what you've got to do in times like this, right?
Yeah, might we add that you have a very close affinity to the other SA as well. There for a short amount of time, so
accent.
So I don't know whose side you're going to be on actually for this one, Steve.
I think it might be close to a draw, but there might be something coming in first.
That's fair enough. Now, final question: when borders reopen and you can go absolutely anywhere in the world again, where are you going to jet off to first?
Can I give you two answers, please?
Are they SA and SA?
No, weirdly, although one's pretty close to that. So obviously one is going to be SA, as in South Africa.
Yes.
You know, working for the Tourism Board, we are so lucky that we're able to go down there multiple times a year, check out different places on our behalf as well as the trade's behalf too. But we haven't been in such a long time now for very obvious reasons. So I'd love to get my butt back down there. I want to go on safari. I want to rest and relax. I want to have a nice massage. And then I want to go and have a good few drinks in Johannesburg, in Marbeneng, on a rooftop somewhere in nice warm weather. And then I would be a very happy man. The other place I really want to go from a personal perspective is back to my homeland of Australia, because I haven't been and seen my family in quite some time. So I wouldn't mind heading back to just north of Sydney in New South Wales and saying g'day to everyone.
So I was almost right. It's close to SA and SA.
Very close, very close.
Well, fingers crossed you are boarding that plane sooner, not later. And the beginning of 21 is, it's a time for all of us to get on a plane and go somewhere.
Yeah, sure.
But anyway, thank you so much, Steve, for being day 2 and giving us those insights. We are privileged to have you here and, making the waves. So thanks very much.
Thanks so much for having us. Cheers. We'll just say stuff to represent.